And we are recording. Forrest, so excited to have you here on my digital marketing expert interview podcast.
And I am excited to be here.
Awesome to have you. You're actually not too far away. You're just down the road, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We're both Coloradans and dealing with some snow this morning.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Forrest Dombrow of Solve Sales. Why don't you quickly introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah, I've been in internet marketing for about 17 or 18 years. Started off as a practitioner doing the work for the clients. Started my own agency 2007 with a couple of partners, and we needed someone to do sales. And so I kind of took on that role, and over time grew to love sales even more than doing the work for the clients. So I kind of turned myself into a sales expert, if you will, specifically in selling digital marketing services. Sold my shares of that agency 5 or 6 years ago and started Solve Sales to help other agencies and service providers fix their sales problems. Because as we talked about, a lot of people start agencies because they're a web developer or they're a marketer. They're not really a salesperson, and they grow a bit and they get in this bind where they don't really know how to scale the sales function. So that's kind of what Solve Sales is all about. And I just wrote a book about it, and out here to help people improve their sales.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about the book, Clone the Ace, a battle-tested blueprint to sell digital marketing services like a pro.
I just got the copies 2 days ago.
Ooh.
First time I'm holding my own book.
Man, you're going to send me, actually, I like the PDF that I have, but
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, I'm a physical book guy myself.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm personally in a great position. I've been doing sales all my life. I used to do cold calling way back in the days. I think it's so essential that the business owner, has a sales background. Otherwise, I think you're going to fail.
Yeah.
Luckily, it has definitely benefited my company. And we could have a conversation about this, 4 weeks, right? So let's get back to the book. So tell me a little bit about the book. Who is it for? What problems does it solve? All that good stuff.
Sure. Yeah. So, I mean, the ideal reader would, I guess, be an owner of a digital marketing agency, but also sales managers at agencies, freelancers. It's very specific to digital marketing, but of course, a lot of it is applicable if you sell websites or software, any kind of digital services. So that's kind of who I wrote it for. It could have been broader. A lot of the concepts in the book are applicable to lots of kinds of service businesses, but my background is so deep in digital marketing, I decided to really make it specific to that. So all the examples in the book are about selling SEO and social media services and things like that. So that's kind of the high level of what the book's about. And the problems it solves is, as we started to talk about, a lot of agency owners they're not really salespeople. And so as they grow, they run into certain bottlenecks where they have trouble hiring salespeople. They have trouble scaling because they don't have efficient systems and processes, because that's not their background, right? And so some people have lead generation issues, like either not enough volume, not enough quality. Some people have more problems on the sales side, like closing the deals. But then there's other sort of business issues, like getting in what I call the hamster wheel of death, where you're selling some services, then you're delivering the services, and you're not out marketing, and you kind of get in this cycle of boom and bust, where you've got clients, but now you're so busy taking care of them, you're not minding the front of the store to get more clients. And so that's something we work with. And also client retention, people bringing on the wrong clients and getting into issues with that. So, there's a variety of problems around sales process and sales systems that then manifest in either not getting enough sales, not being able to scale, or having client retention issues.
I mean, you just described basically issues that any kind of business deals with, right? Would this book also be applicable to like another line of business outside of digital marketing industry?
Yeah, like I said, the concepts many of the concepts are applicable to almost any kind of service business and maybe even certain product businesses. But again, the examples in the book and the way I talk about it are very specific to digital marketing. But certainly it's not just digital marketing. Again, if you develop apps, if you build websites, if you're a content marketer, things of that nature. But beyond that as well, for sure.
Right. Cool. So I did write down a few questions here. Awesome book. I haven't finished it yet, so I look forward to that.
Yeah, well, it hasn't actually come out yet, so you have an advanced copy. It's launching March 2nd.
Cool. The link's going to be in the YouTube video
Yeah.
section.
Yeah, and we'll talk about at the end. I actually have an offer for the audience about getting the beginning of the book for free. So
okay.
Talk about that at the end.
Cool. So in the book, you write about something called Winnable Games that I think would benefit many of our listeners. Can you explain how to use that concept to improve sales?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is one of there's two unique things that I think I do in the book and as a consultant, is specializing in digital marketing agencies, but also it's this winnable games concept. And what's that about? When you think about sales training, something like Sandler sales training or your more general popular sales books, right? They tend to focus on, how to prospect, sales skills, those sorts of things, which of course I focus on heavily in the book. But one of the things I believe is you should try to make sales easier before you even try to get better at it. And that goes to marketing too. So what Winnable Games is about is making sure you understand who your ideal clients are and position your agency in a way, and I'll give you an example in a second, such that you're in the lead. When you're selling, there's often 2 or 3 other, agencies being considered, and you want to be the one that they're pretty much want to hire before you even open your mouth, right? So an example would be Specialization. Simple example, very powerful. If you're an SEO agency, that's good. That's, at least you're specializing in SEO. But what if you're an SEO agency for yoga studios, for example? If that yoga studio is looking for an SEO solution and you're the only one that specializes in SEO for yoga studios and the other people they're considering are just more generalists, you're in the lead, but they're already thinking you might be better than them before you even open your mouth. So Winnable Games is really about understanding where you can be successful and positioning yourself to look like the best option. But it also does something else besides help you generate leads and close deals. It actually can help with client retention as well. Because if you're bringing on clients, right up front, you're going to be able to do a great job with, you're going to have a much better chance of retaining them over the long term. So Winnable Games is a super important concept, and it's probably one of my favorites in the book.
That's awesome. So there's actually a SEO agency here in Boulder. We all know each other, right? It's a very friendly industry. He went from being a generalist to he only focuses on landscaping businesses, and he is doing an amazing job. I think that's exactly what you're talking about.
And specialization is only one way to create a winnable game, right?
Yeah.
You could have different service mixes. It's really about offering something unique to a particular audience. And that's what I did with my book. I could have just said, it's a battle-tested blueprint to sell services or sell anything. But no, I went specifically to digital marketers because that's where I know if a digital marketing agency comes to me with sales problems, I know exactly what to do. I've done it so many times, and that's where, so that's a winnable game for me. And that's one of the things I teach, my clients is to create a game where you're on a playing field where you're probably going to win, as opposed to, we do digital marketing just like everybody else, and I got to slog it out in the trenches and you have no differentiators or anything. Then sales becomes really difficult.
That's an awesome tip. There's a great book called Differentiate or Die. I forgot the name of the author, but it's that's exactly the concept that you're describing. Very valuable tip. Okay. I certainly have made a lot of mistakes. Luckily, earlier in my days when I started the agency, invaluable. You need to make mistakes because you can ideally learn.
I made plenty of them. That's how I was able to write the book.
What are the top 2 or 3 mistakes you see agency sales rep make, and what solutions would you recommend?
Yeah, I think the first one that comes to mind that's just super basic but really powerful is being really slow to respond to leads.
Oh man.
So there's an MIT study out there that proved that online leads, so people coming through your web forms and things of that nature, if you respond to them within 5 minutes of the lead coming in, you have 100 times greater chance of being successful with them than if you wait even as much as little as 30 minutes. So speed is just a quick thing you can do to kind of get a couple more deals in a month by being fast. So that's one simple one. I think the other one that's a little bit more nuanced and requires a little bit more work is being what I would call an order taker type salesperson, as opposed to what I call a sales doctor, a strategic salesperson. So someone calls up, hey, we need link building. Okay, great. We do link building. It's it's $1,000 a month or whatever. Sign here. There's no actual strategy going on and making sure that that's what the person actually needs. So they're not even really being a salesperson. They're just taking orders or trying to take orders. And so the solution there is to act more like a doctor. Oh, really? Why do you think you need link building? What are the problems? Digging in a little bit and trying to figure out. Let me go take a look at your SEO before I even pitch you on anything and make sure that's actually what you need. So I think it's transitioning from order taker to actually being a strategic salesperson and identifying problems you can solve. And that ties back to winnable games. If you don't take a minute to see what the real situation is here, you may just sell something to somebody that you can't really be successful with, right?
Man, I couldn't agree more. So luckily, I've been in SEO forever, 25 years. We get more leads than we can handle. We spoke
Yeah,
about this before, right? But it's also like I personally, I do every sales call because
right.
I'm selling my company,
Yeah,
right? So couldn't agree more. Like it's not even I don't even say it's a sales call. It's just like an evaluation. Are we a good fit for each other? Do I have what you need? Are you going to be a good fit for me and my team? Like
yeah,
we will only take on clients that actually want to be part of the process, right? We don't just want to be the agency.
yeah,
But really, there has to be this agreement that, look, we're going to work together. It's like, we're not the agency, we're going to be a team.
yeah,
And we actually turn down quite a lot of clients because
yeah.
they're not a good fit. So luckily we're in a great position.
Yeah, well, you're one of the rare people that I meet that actually get a lot of this stuff. A lot of people, again, not because they're not smart people, they're
Yeah.
busy, they don't have a sales background, so they don't think about these sorts of things the way they need to be.
And I think early on when I started this business, I was desperate for clients, right? So took everybody on. Worst time of my life. Some of the worst clients, called me like Sunday night at 10. It's like, well, I'm not number one for this keyword. After like 2 weeks, I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
lesson learned. I will only work with somebody that I think I really want to work with, that may be a good fit.
yeah. And that, you just mentioned another issue that's related to not digging in enough during that initial sales call, um, which is not figuring out, where you can win with people and being able to set proper expectations. Because
Yeah.
if you have a little bit more of an in-depth call, you might hear, oh, I want to be number one for this keyword by next week, and realize that's ridiculous. I better talk to this person to make sure they understand how it's really going to go. And if they're not down with reality, I can cut them now, as opposed to not asking the questions and just kind of bringing them on board and then having those nightmare stressful calls after the fact you realize how ridiculous they are.
Oh, funny. All right, cool. When it comes to selling SEO specifically, search engine optimization, what is the one thing someone in the audience could do right now to improve their results in client retention?
And client retention, it's kind of a continuation of what we were just talking about. It's making sure that during the sales processes, you ask the right questions to understand how much or how little they understand SEO, how long it takes, all that kind of stuff. And so you can set proper expectations and make sure up front everybody's on the same page. And I think a related thing is taking a bit more of a value-based approach, which is hardest with something like SEO, because we don't know exactly when Google's going to give you a bump and how that's going to relate and everything. But doing a little bit more upfront to say, hey, here's where you are now, here's where I think you can get to in this time frame, and based on your current conversion rates and things of that nature, here's a estimated return on investment, and making sure that that's conservative, but something enticing to help close that deal, and something you can then manage the client against, right? Here's where I said we're going to get to. And, so those setting up that winnable game, not just on the sales side, but on the client retention side as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, my light's flickering on and off here.
So let me throw this in. So SEO is changing dramatically. There's numerous algorithm updates coming our way, especially with the EAT algorithm update, expertise, authoritativeness, trustworthiness. So we're now going beyond just SEO, right? We're helping companies create webinars, build a content marketing strategy around the webinars, social media as part of SEO. So it's way beyond SEO. People still, they search for us for like SEO, affordable SEO packages, stuff like that. But then we explain, look, we need to do this. It's going to be very involved. It's a lot of work, et cetera, et cetera. So something that I call campaign-based content marketing, SEO and social media. It's working amazingly well. Yes, I think you need to go beyond just the
that's actually another mistake I see, and another concept I write about quite a bit in the book. I'm going to turn my light off so it's not flickering at me. Which is making sure, I call it the milk and cookies approach, right? So a lot of people just sell the milk and they don't mention the cookies, right? They say, oh, we'll do the link building, and that's sort of all they're talking about. What they don't realize, or maybe they don't think about, is people that call you, I don't care what they call you about or for, they actually only want one thing: more sales. They don't want SEO. They don't want content marketing. They don't even want first page rankings. They want more money. And I know that sounds pretty basic, but the point, and to tie it to what you were just saying, is sometimes making more money requires a more comprehensive solution, including things maybe you don't even do as an agency. But an example I use in the book is if you go to a doctor, and let's say you break your leg or something and you need surgery, and the doctor does the surgery, well, you need physical therapy after as well. And if the doctor doesn't mention that you need that, even though he doesn't do that, it's malpractice. So if you sell something very specific like SEO and you don't do some of the other things, or if you sell paid search and you don't talk to them about their landing pages, you're not selling a complete solution that's going to deliver what they really want, which is more leads and sales.
Yeah, I can agree more.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a couple more questions here. All right. But you, Forrest, there are a lot of sales consultants out there, right? I get requests on LinkedIn, daily from numerous sales consultants. I want to help me get more sales. What makes you different?
Yeah, I think I mentioned a couple things earlier, but I'll elaborate, which is, the specialization in digital marketing. But I didn't just wake up one day and say, let me specialize in digital marketing. As I mentioned, I started as a digital marketer back in 2004. I wrote paid search ads. I did SEO. I architected websites. I know what it's like to work with clients and what they want. Then I transitioned into sales of digital marketing services at my own agency, and then later as a consultant through Solve Sales. And so besides my expertise of actually doing the marketing, I've also owned a bunch of other businesses that have nothing to do with digital marketing. I owned a liquor store, a popcorn company. I currently own a children's t-shirt company. So I've also purchased digital marketing services. And I think most importantly, once I transitioned into sales, I have spoken to thousands and thousands of owners, like literally 3,000 to 4,000 owners and marketing managers that are purchasing digital marketing. So your average sales consultant probably doesn't have that deep experience with the exact things you're trying to sell as a digital marketer. And I think that's the number one thing. And then the second thing would be that that Winnable Games approach. If you call me and say, I'm not getting enough leads, I'm not getting enough sales, I don't go right to let's improve your sales skills like a regular sales consultant will. I want to start and make sure we position you and your business and your products and services such that when we get to the actual selling skills, it's already going to be way easier.
Yeah, and I think we met, gosh, 6 something years ago, where you gave a presentation at the SEO meetup in
It was
Denver.
about selling SEO.
Yeah, and I mean, I do know you have a really good reputation out there. You know, you're not a short-term thing, so you've been around for a long time, so I can attest to that. And are you available for? Do you take on clients, or are you focusing just on the book right now?
Well, the book's launching next week, so that's obviously my focus this week. But no, the whole point, this is basically an expensive business card. I certainly hope people read it. And for the people that do like to read and dig in and do it yourself, I hold nothing back. I mean, there's scripts in here. It's word for word exactly what I've done and taught people. So you can get pretty much everything you need right out of the book. But absolutely, my main focus is now speaking and consulting. So agencies that want to hire us. We also do coaching, one-on-one coaching. So no, yeah, it's all about anybody that needs more help than the book. We're available for sure.
Cool. Okay, so you mentioned that special offer at the beginning. What is it? Tell me a little bit more about
Yeah,
it.
so
There's actually,
there's two things. One is the book. You can get the beginning of the book all the way through chapter 2 for free on our website. And chapter 2 is all about the winnable games. It's probably my favorite chapter in the book. And you can get that. Just go to solidsales.com, navigate to the book page, or just right to and on the book page, there's a link to the free chapters, and you'll put the link in the, but you can download the free chapters of the book. Second, there's free resources on the site that actually go with the book, which you can download. Even if you haven't read the entire book, there's still useful things like my whole template for creating presentation decks, how to position your agency, some pretty cool stuff. So those are all on the website. And then, I know this will be up for a number of months and years probably, but next week, if you happen to see this before the end of next week, which is March 1st through the 5th or 6th, the entire digital version of the book will be for sale for 99 cents on Amazon.com.
Oh, wow.
Only for the first week. So yeah, a bunch of stuff.
Okay, we'll try to include that in the email blast.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Any last words of wisdom before we wrap this up?
Words of wisdom. Yeah, I would say get the book. But seriously, I like helping people. So if you visit up to the website and you have a quick question, I'm happy to jump on the call with people and help you troubleshoot some quick things, even if you're not going to hire us. So reach out. That would be my wisdom. If you're ever having a challenge, what I do is I hit the phones. I hit my network. Hey, here's what I'm dealing with. Do you know anybody? So I encourage you to do the same thing if you're having any kind of sales troubles, whether you're reaching out to me or anybody else. Reach out.
Cool. And then just for disclosure, so I'm not going to make money. I'm not an affiliate or anything. I'm just I really believe, you're a good guy. You do great stuff. So I'm not promoting the book to make money, right? I don't make zero commission.
I am almost not even promoting the book to make any money off the book. I'm trying to, sell services and things of that nature. So I appreciate that.
Cool, Forrest. This has been a pleasure. I hope when this whole COVID thing is over and done with, let's meet up for a beer, some lunch. Absolutely. And let's keep in touch. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this session with Forrest. Make sure to reach out. The links are below or in this blog post. And stay tuned for the next episode of this digital marketing expert interview series. All right. Thanks so much.
Take care.